y'all? Alright, that was a little bit of an awkward ending there, but it's all good. I'm just getting back in the swing of things. So what's up, y'all? Peace, peace. That was a couple beats on Dirtywave M8. We're going to be cooking some more in just a moment here. But yeah, Let's see. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about what tonight's session is going to look like. Give you a taste here. So yeah, we are back in the groove. I was on vacation for a little bit, but now I'm back. So I'll be on my usual streaming schedule, Tuesdays and Saturdays, you know, or if you know, you know. And yeah, I've also got this set up here. Let me click the button. Boom. Dude, wait, what the heck? Where's my camera? Ah, there it is. So yeah, with this session, I'm going to be doing a little bit of M8 plus Lo-Fi 12 XT action. Basically, we're going to be using DAW combined with M8, Dirtywave M8. And so yeah, I'm going to make like some beats using the rhythm section on the M8, and then I'll do the melody on the Lo-Fi 12 XT. I like to do this because this thing's a pretty cool MIDI controller. Yeah, so obviously I don't know music theory, but it does have a chord mode, or not chord mode, root and scale mode, which makes it very easy to play chill melodies. So we're going to be getting into that later. Let me switch back though. Boom. It's like magic. All right. But yeah, let me start a new project here and then we can get going. So let's see. We were just listening to beat 14 underscore 85. So that's what's up. Click the new button though. And yeah, I think I'll just start building a rhythm section. I've got a couple new tricks to show as well. Some stuff I've been experimenting with. So let's get into that. And we'll start with the snare drum. Ye old snare. Dude, Gigi, what's up, man? How's it going? All right. Snare. Where is the snare? Gotta pick a lucky folder here. Dude, 139. I'm feeling good about. 138 maybe. Dude, that sounds like a real hip-hoppy snare. I get down on that. We put some an envelope on that. It's gonna sound nice. Okay. Gotta do this. Destination volume. Hold. What are my levels like here? Let's crank it. Nice, so the envelope helps it sound a little more snappy. Gets rid of that extra, there's like a little bit of dust on the end or something. Kind of whooshes in at the end. Okay, so we got that going. Let's do kick next. That one's booming. Nice 80s kick. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to do this thing. Okay. What else we got? Dude, that one sounds gnarly. That one too. Let's try this one. I might be able to tame it a little bit. It seems like it's got a different vibe than the snare, but I could probably use the envelope to bring it all together. And yeah, usually I just put notes on the grid, and I'm kind of like just building the kit, listening to sounds together, and then I do the micro timing after. So let's see here. Nice. Let's try pitching this thing down. It's not too bad. Once we get the filter and EQ on it, it's gonna sound chill. Speaking of, Just gut those mids. Get them out of here. I don't want to see any mids in my house. Nice. Yeah, take a listen to the difference here. So this is the kick with no EQ. And then here's the EQ. Beefy. The EQ is powerful, very powerful. If you don't mess around with it, I recommend. All right, so we've got kick and snare. Dude, maybe I'll pitch the snare down. Do one semitone. Sounds tight. All right, hi-hat is next. Let's find a good one here. See, I don't have as many hi-hats as I have kicks and snares. My kick folder, it goes to like 130, I think. The hi-hat, it only goes to 60, 63. I gotta sample more. Bro, that sounds so sick. Oh, snap, dude. Hold the phone here. There's got to be something interesting I do with it, though. Dude, with the degraded too? Sounds gnarly. Kinda sounds like a shaker. I bet if I put some attack on it, it'll be shaker-esque. Whoops. Volume, ADSR. Or maybe I can do AHD. Not so bad. Dude, the high pass definitely sounds like a shaker. Sounds dope though. I think I'm gonna put a hi-hat on top of it. Let's do another one. Kind of hard to find a sound that matches. Maybe this one? Back to the drawing board. I don't know, maybe it doesn't need another hi-hat. I feel like I'm getting a little obsessive over the second hi-hat. Okay, let's do some micro timing on the kick. And I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with this Dirtywave M8 stuff, but there's been some recent developments, firmware updates, probably like a couple weeks old at this point, maybe a month even. And yeah, basically there's this new micro timing command, which is super duper dope, and it's right here. Sequencer effects, MTT. So basically what this does is it lets you nudge notes by like a fraction of a tick. And the tick is like the smallest unit of measure between the steps, and there's normally 6 of them. But now you can use this MTT command to kind of like nudge things further, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's do like a kind of like boom bap pattern here. Oh yeah, I'm at 90 BPM too. Let me change that. Do 88, sounds chill. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna hit it with the MTT. It's very nice, and it even shows you like how much nudged it is. So it says microtime 1 4/8 ticks, which is like 1.5 tick, which is pretty chill. Because before it was just, you had to use the delay command, DEL, and it was just for ticks, so it wasn't as precise. But this makes it super easy to just like, you know, get your drums swinging or whatever. So we got a decent little pattern there. Let me do the nth command here to kind of switch it up a bit. Whoa, not pitch slide. Nth. And so yeah, this basically lets it makes the sequencer skip certain notes, but you have to have that many phrases. So we'll do 4 of these 2/0 phrases, and then I'll put this on the ghost notes. This one, I guess this one too. And then you can select like what interval it'll play at. So this one's on 2, so it skips it the first time, plays it the second time. That there. And then there's one for odd numbered ones too, so like 1 and 3. So what does it sound like? It's not too bad. Okay. And then yeah, I want to do something interesting with this sort of like shaker hi-hat type thing. Well, first things first though, if I just put MTT on everything, I could probably kind of nudge it off the grid a little bit. it'll sound like if I maybe like reverse one or something. Let's try that. PLY01. Kind of just mutes it out. That sounded kind of tight. Alright, I can probably delay it though. Oh, there was actually something I wanted to mess around with. This is a good example to test. So something interesting about the new microtiming command is you can do negative microtiming. So you can microtime backwards, which would basically make it so that something would happen on the step before it. And you can do that by going left. So if you're at MTT 0, it's not doing anything. And then you do left and it starts doing it negative, right? So I think I can do this PLY negative command, like, it might sound super messed up, I don't know. Let's try doing it. So negative 6 ticks would basically do it on the previous step. I wonder what this sounds like. Here, let me loop this section so we can just listen to it over and over again. Get kind of an interesting character with it, depending on what the value you set. Let me try this. I'll get another unique value here. Not too bad. Interesting little variety. So yeah, that was using the negative microtiming. Pretty fun. And yeah, I think there's some interesting possibilities with this in that you could probably use it to like say you've got like all the effect slots filled on this. I mean, you wouldn't put MTT on everything, but say you've got things loaded up here and you got no room for additional effects. You could probably use the negative MTT to maybe like add another effect that also happens up there. So it's kind of like an interesting way to use your space that you have available if you don't got nothing going on the next step. So pretty interesting stuff there. Oh dude, Victor Cyberponics Music, what's up man? What's cracking? And then Royal Apple 1674, sorry about that, says, bro, geeking on a tracker. Geeking on a tracker is the ultimate experience. It definitely is, man. It's like a little mini game. I'm like, I be playing this thing like it's Minesweeper or something. Or I don't know if that's the best analogy, but yeah, it's like a little game to me, it feels like. And it's kind of shaped like a Game Boy too, so it's gaming-esque. I'm into it. It's definitely a lot of fun getting the effects commands to work the way you want. Or having like happy accidents or whatever, where you're just messing around and it sounds sick. Alright, so I'm kind of feeling this groove. I could maybe do a little more percussion, but I think it sounds fine. You know what, maybe let me do a snare roll. I feel like I don't do snare rolls very often, and they sound kind of sick. I got a folder for that, I think. There we go. It's a nice one. Alright, so this one, I'll just put it on the snare track here. Nice. So yeah, there I was just kind of putting some random MTT stuff. Probably doesn't make too much of a difference to have it a couple, you know, fractions of a tick off, but just moving the snare around and kind of making it sound interesting. Okay, I think we're good to start doing some melody stuff, the melodics, aka. So let's do that. Got to do my input levels here. Set this to C0. And yeah, basically the input of this is going, or here, let me minimize this. So yeah, the input is going from the output. Let me say that again. The output of the Lo-Fi 12 XT is going into the M8, and this thing is basically just controlling my DAW. So when I press buttons on this, you're hearing the VSTs. I'll show you what that looks like here. Boom. So I'm using Arturia Analog Lab. And we have access to all these different sounds. So you're not just limited to what you got on the sampler if you plug it in via the USBs. Twangy there. All right, but yeah, let's find something cool. And then another cool thing about the Lo-Fi 12 XT is you can do the root note and scale mode. So you don't even need to have music theory knowledge. Let me find a better sound to demonstrate here. Yeah, Analog Lab is sick. I bought into it pretty recently, maybe like a couple months ago. I was looking for like a cool, yeah, kind of like collection of sounds to use and stuff. And they've got plenty of presets, and it's organized pretty well too. Damn, that sounds crazy. This one's interesting. I don't know if I can start with it though. Dude, this one sounds kind of tight. Dude, if I put some delay on it. All right, so that's the next level too. So yeah, I've got this sound, right? And there's some settings that you can change in Analog Lab. But, dude, I can just go to the rack here. I'm using Reason. But any DAW works. Dude, hit it with some tape echo or something. Let me do this. Ripley space delay. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Just click some random stuff here. I gotta change the tempo too. Let's see, what are we working with here? 88, and I'm feeling great. Oh yeah, so Royal Apple's saying, you run the VST into their software, I suppose. Can you run multiples at the same time? I guess you could, yeah. I mean, I actually don't know how to do that, because with Reason, you select the track, and then the MIDI just controls that track. There's probably a way to do multiple, though. Like, so I've got the Analog Lab here. And then say I want to add radical keys right beneath it. I mean, that's just the keys, though. I don't know. There's probably some MIDI way to like have it control both VSTs. I'm not really sure how to do that though. I only do it one at a time, but it's not so bad one at a time. to do this though. Okay. All right, so this is the fun part. So I've got the VST set up, put some sick delay on it. So now I can jam along on the M8 and I can record a tempo synced recording. So it'll like match the drums basically. I just have to go to the sampler instrument, blank sampler, and then I hit record, bring the volume down, set the arm to 0 so it doesn't wait for a threshold, it just starts recording immediately, and then have the sync set or the song mode set to 0, 0. So this is just going to play the drum loop over and over again, and I can record over it. So yeah, let's try it out. Enough good stuff in there. And yeah, literally just pressing random buttons and kind of jamming out. And then basically what you have to do is, so we're looking at the recording, you can see it. I have to, well, let me normalize it first. Get it nice and loud. We want a strong signal. And then if I hold Option on M8 and I press left, you can see at the bottom it says the length. So I'm going to set it to 28 phrases exactly. Then I crop it. Where's the crop? Here we go. And so this will make it so I can slice it, and each of the slices will correspond to the start of a phrase or when the drum loop plays. The phrases are all 1 bar long. So I do slice. I said there was 20, so that's what we're going to do. Boom. And so now you can see as I kind of shuffle through it, kind of got some funky timing though. What the heck's going on here? Let me make sure I did this right. Oh, it's 28 phrases. I was like, what the heck is going on here? So yeah, 28. So we get some spooky sounding chords there, and I'm into it. And then this is the fun part as well. You hit random. Boom. Maroon Mantis. Dude, that could be an album. I gotta write that down. And then I gotta save it to my test folder. It's such a mess in here, but I organize things by date. And it's been a while since I've done this. So let's do create directory. The year is 26. Dash 01 dash 27. Oops. Okay, and then save. Boom. Drop it in there. And so now I can just save all the samples in there. It's like kind of organized. I know it's still a little messy, but at least they're all in the same folder once I start adding more stuff. All right, so I saved the sample. Now what we can do is you can put the note down, right? And then use the SLI command which triggers slices. And this is super easy to just scrub through all of the slices. So this one sounds kind of tight, so I can just press play and it'll play in sync. Then I can pick a different slice to play after it. End it on like a lower note, maybe? Or maybe a higher one? What is this? Slice 17. Maybe this one sounds tight. That was kind of sick. I was like playing something at the end of it. And so I've just been putting slices down at the beginning of the phrase, but you could put them in the middle too. So like this. Oh, whoops. So it sounds pretty dope, and I was literally just pressing like random buttons and stuff. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, so Royal Apple's saying, man, this machine is fascinating. I have the Digitact, but I will eventually buy this one for its interface and possibilities. Dude, heck yeah, man. Yeah, they're both pretty fun toys. This thing, the M8, is like very powerful, despite being very small. It's very compact. And then this thing's kind of unique too. It's like, it's got some drawbacks, like you can only use mono samples and stuff, but it's great as a MIDI controller, and it's an excellent sequencer, which I'm not even using it as a sequencer right now, but like the step sequencer is really good on the Lo-Fi 12XT. And it's got a good sound because it's like super lo-fi. Alright, let's add some more layers though. I'm gonna do a new analog lab here. We're going back to the lab. Boys and girls. Alright, open Sesame. Let me check the keys section. Not really the vibe, but it sounds kind of sick. Lo-fi. record something and just see if I can figure it out here. Okay. I feel like I need to turn it down maybe. I can always do that later. Okay, record. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of jam out on it. Alright, gotta be something interesting in there. Maybe. Dude, 29 phrases. And that's the cool thing too, is you can record like a super long take and just kind of like keep pressing random buttons. And then all you gotta do is crop it to the exact length. 29 phrases. 29, and I'm feeling fine. And then hit it with the slice. Make sure the slice matches. Oh wait, let me actually normalize it first. Even though I was saying it's too loud, I'm still going to normalize it because you want a nice strong signal. And then slice 29. And then yeah, all the takes are in here. And I just got to basically find a couple that work. And then we're chilling. Alright, so random name. Dude, the super loop. I like that. That actually sounds kind of sick. Okay. Yeah, so Phil's are saying, love the channel. First time I caught a live stream. Dude, that's what's up. Welcome. Love how you make the machine, whichever you're working on, work for you. I can always tell it's you behind the controls. Dude, heck yeah. Yeah, man. The thing about samplers is you can make them all sing, dude. You just gotta, you know, crack the code and kind of have your own unique sound and stuff. But yeah, definitely a lot of possibilities, no matter what gear you're using. All right, so let's drop some notes in and see if I can find something that works here. SLI. Yeah, I gotta turn it down too. Like, I can't tell if I like it or it just sounds super wonky. I think I like it though. All right, so let me switch this up. 5150. Just had to put the filter on it. Kind of clamp down on it. So now it's kind of in the back a little bit, but it's okay. And then yeah, Robbie Ferrero said, Lo-Fi 12 XT is a fun sampler. Got a bit excited when I mistook it for the sample track. Dude, the sample track looks tight. I wish I knew more about it. By the time I got this thing, like, the sample track had been out for a while, but I never really looked into it. Wasn't really sure what it did. But I hear it's cool. It's like kind of a, forget how people describe it. Not really a looper, but like a multi-track, like, hardware thing. I don't know. There's probably a better way to say it than that. But yeah, dude, that's what's up. And then yeah, Royal Apple saying, combo sounds very good. Grainy lo-fi character is sweet. Do you process all your audios into the Lo-Fi 12 XT? No, I don't really use this thing for processing the audio so much. In fact, it's just playing at whatever frequency or whatever that the DAW is playing at. So it's not really adding any effect or changing the sound at all. We're basically just listening to the DAW through the Lo-Fi 12 XT, if that makes sense. But it's not doing anything like SP404-esque or whatever, vinyl sim or any of that. We're basically just hearing what the DAW sounds like. But yeah, so let's see, what else we got here? Probably need some bass on this. Dude, I'm always having so much trouble finding a decent bass sound on Analog Lab. Let's see if I can find a good one here. See what I mean? It's like, dude, that's the bass I've been looking for my whole life, bro. I don't know. I guess it's called 80s Dirty Slap, so I shouldn't expect too much. Man, where's like the nice stand-up bass? That's what I want to know. But it's not quite what I'm looking for. Alright, I think I got the sound where I want it. I just gotta figure out what to play now. Alright, I can definitely freestyle something here. Let me get the sampler loaded up. Whoa, bro. Wish me luck. Say a prayer for me. Gotta be something good in there. Hopefully. Maybe. Possibly. Alright, so let me trim this down. 32. Yeah, we'll do 32. Crop it. It's a long sample. How many? Yeah, 32. Dude, 32 bars. Oof. It's jamming for a while there. There's probably some of this stuff that I could trim out, but it's like, it doesn't really hurt to just leave it in there in case I want to use it for whatever. Alright, so I said 32, so we're going to do that. Boom. Yeah, and then random name. Dude, bionic donut? Bro, I'm getting hungry over here. But all I want to eat right now is a bionic donut. Sounds good. Sounds like some good stuff. Alright, so let's put some notes down in the phrase here. And then yeah, some of those last takes sounded pretty good, so let's get all the way over to 32-ish. So maybe like this. And this is something I haven't talked about, but I've done it a couple times, or you may have seen me do it a couple times. So basically, when I started playing the bass line, it doesn't start until like step 8. So this is where the first note is basically. So what you can do is you can paste this in, and then you use STA, which is a start command, and you set it to 8-0. And this basically makes it so it'll start the slice halfway through, and it'll just start playing the note that I was playing instead of this empty space at the beginning. And it's good to do because you might have stuff coming in before it that gets cut off abruptly if it's all the way at the top, even though it's basically just quiet at the top. So it's kind of a good practice to, if you have those slices that start halfway through, to just set the start at 8-0. The M8 to add effects too. Hit it with another low pass maybe. Got the amp as well. Lo-fi degrade. It's too extreme. I like the sound of that. Alright, so we still got some free tracks open. Let's keep recording. I gotta find a good VST here. Maybe like a pad? I've already got some kind of pad-like sounds, but see what we can dig up here. It's like, what is this playing? Too spooky. Yeah, maybe pad's not the vibe. Let me go back to keys. See what we got here. Oh, bro, is it doing the filter on it? Oh, yikes, dude. Yep, 100%. That's why it was so quiet. All right, what do we got here? Keep shopping around. Alright, let me get caught up on the chat here. Y'all are blowing it up, and I love it. What do we got here? Vitaly? Sokolovsky, dude? Dude, what's up, man? Welcome. What's cracking? Royal Apple talking about the tracker mentality. Dude, it's pretty tight. Yeah, man. You kind of you fall into stuff. Interesting patterns, and it's crazy because you can make stuff on this that you wouldn't even like know how to make on like a different sampler. Like I use this PLY command like all the time, and like I don't even know how I would do that on like a different sampler. So to give you an example, what are we doing here? This one. So you can hear this is like the E piano. So what you can do is you can put this play command, PLY, and what this does, where's that? Come on, okay. So this basically changes the play mode. So the standard play mode is forward play. The sample plays from the start to the end, what you'd expect. But you can also have the sample play in reverse, right? But what you can do is if you put this play mode command set to reverse, it'll ping pong the loop or the sample in the sequence. It's probably hard to hear with everything else, so just listen to this. You can do this later too. Let's see what it sounds like here. But yeah, putting that kind of like reverse, like tell the sample to start playing backwards, like I don't even know how I would do that on this or like any other sampler. But on the M8, it's super easy. You just put the play command down and it like just ping pongs it from wherever you set the command to. So it's kind of like little stuff like that on the tracker, it's like super duper easy to do. On other samplers, it might be tough. But then where the sampler or where the tracker kind of falls short is you don't have like that finger drumming kind of experience where you can like play in like a live groove. Like you can see there's not many buttons on this thing. Certainly not one that lets you like tap in any grooves or anything. So that's kind of the plus and minus of it. But I think overall it's a pretty sick experience, and it gives you like kind of a different way of thinking about how to make music, not just because it's aligned vertically, but also because yeah, you're kind of using the grid, so you have to like find creative ways to like create your own groove essentially. That's just my 2 cents. All right, where are we at here? I gotta find like one more 6 sound. I can work with this nice plucky, whatever, plucky pluck. I don't give a pluck. We're gonna get down on it. So I played just a couple kind of like double notes at the end there. I think I'm going to try and just do something with that. Whoa, bro. All right, so I got to do this. Got to do this right here. 32 phrases. And then, I don't know, I think I'm just going to grab all this stuff. 18. Crop. Normalize. Random. Oh man. Elysium? Lilac Elysium. Wow, that was hard to read. Alright, so crap, what did I do here? 18. Save it. And yeah, I think I could probably just pepper these in a couple places. Maybe use the M8's delay or reverb to kind of make it sound a little more spaced out. Dang, it looks kind of weird though. Alright, that should do the trick. reverb. Not bad. Just hit it with the band pass. So yeah, Royal Apple's saying that on the Digitact you can do that changing the play mode thing that I was showing earlier, but it's less obvious. Yeah, man. It's a little tricky. Alright, so we got one more layer here. Or track, I mean. Track 80. I don't know, I don't want to add sounds just to add sounds, so I think maybe I'll just switch gears here and try to do some arranging. Alright, so back over here. So yeah, once I get enough layers going, I usually get to a point where I try to kind of finalize things. And one of the first things you want to do, or that I think is helpful to do, is make sure that each of the chains is 4 phrases long. Or you can have them be a different number of phrases, but I think as long as the number of phrases match across all the chains, it makes it so that the playhead moves through the song at the same rate. So check it out. We got 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. Wow, so that's perfect. Then I'm going to kind of copy and paste it here. And so now it's 16 bars. Each one is 4 bars long, and there's 4 of them. And then I'm going to create a 0 phrase that basically just has an off command, so it'll like stop it once it gets to this point. And this will be 4 phrases long as well. Sounds kind of wonky. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, I'm tripping. Okay, so now I'm going to delete some of these and put the zeros in so that the layers kind of come in one at a time. And then the bass was on 6. So I kind of want this one on the whole time. Alright, so yeah, the first layer, or first bar, I mean, is going to be just the E piano and the bass. Then you get that kind of like spooky synth or whatever. Maybe I'll do it like this. Have this guitar thing come in a little earlier. VCT compressor in the house. Say hello to my little friend. Bro, it'd be sounding gnarly. Hell yeah. It wouldn't be a J-Macula Jam if I didn't get my finger in the mix with this whole touchscreen business. Alright. This one sounded pretty chill. I'm gonna save it. Save it before I forget to. 26-01. Spooky groove. In progress. Right there. Yo! Dude, yeah, that one was sick. Alright, but why only make one beat when you can make two? Alright, so let's start from scratch here and see if we can do this twice. See if we can get down. And yeah, just like before, I'm going to start with the rhythm section on M8 and then switch over to the melodies, the melodics, once we got a nice drum pattern going. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long to make one. We shall see. All right, snare. What do we got here? We got hair. Dude, you can hear the crackle on that. That sounds snappy. Alright, check this out. Watch this magic trick I got here. So we've got this crackle at the end. You can hear it. It's very pronounced. And it's this one right here. So I'm going to use my M8, basically like it's Audacity, the program on computer, and do some audio cleanup. I'm going to delete it. And that crackle's gone. Watch here. Undo. What the hell? And then undo again. Oh, it doesn't work. It's embarrassing. Alright, I'm just going to delete it. And it's gone. Overwrite. Fixing those crackles one at a time. Alright, so we got the snare here. Let's do the envelope though. Dude, heck yeah. Thanks, Robbie Ferrero. Dude, appreciate that. Alright. Okay, that sounds good. Next up, a kick drum. Ba-ba-bum. Ba-dum-dum. Where's it at? Dude, it's got like a shaker on it or something. Excellent, infinitely excellent. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this sample. So yeah, you do Shift and Option. You can copy an instrument, and then you do Shift and Edit. You paste it. So this is just a copy of the kick drum sample. But I'm going to change the start point. It's probably hard to hear that. Let me turn it up. So it kind of sounds like a shaker or something. Not sure exactly what it is. So we're going to work that into the arrangement. But first, let's do some envelope on the kick here. Yeah, I really like gutting those mids on the kick. Get it nice and boomy. Too loud. Alright, that should be good. Okay. Dude, let's mess around with that, this like shaker thing that I got off the kick. So yeah, this was just a sound that was at the end of the kick. Sounds pretty dope though. But yeah, let's do some MTT on it. And tonight is like the shaker night. Got another shaker in the mix here. So get it like off grid or whatever. Sounded pretty chill. And yeah, so there's this other trick that I've been using that I didn't use on the last beat that I can show y'all. So basically, before when I would make phrases that have like a lot of hi-hat notes, I would usually just go through and like make one lower volume, then higher volume, then lower volume, etc., etc. But it kind of takes a while to do that, especially if you have like a longer phrase. I mean, I did it pretty quick there, but either way, there's a way to do this with the table, which is kind of cool. So essentially what you can do is I do table tick, set it to 0, 0, note increment. Basically what this means is that the table will move down one row every time the note plays. So you can see it's going down every time it plays. And then you can do hop. Whoops. So hop 0, 0. And what hop does is it brings it back to the top if you have it set to 0, 0. So it's basically just cycling between these two on this first column. And then from here, you can have it be max volume and then have the other one be a little bit quieter. So it's kind of a quicker way to do that sort of like up and down volume. It's not quite automating it, but it's, yeah, using the table to control that. You can do some other interesting stuff too. Like, maybe the error command. I guess you could just put that in the phrase, so it doesn't really need to be in here. But yeah, the table's cool because you can put effects there that maybe don't fit in the phrase if you're running out of space. And you can do cool stuff like this volume thing. So that's that. Let's see. Maybe I can get some more of these in the mix. See if I can do a hi-hat too. Whoa. Here we go. Yo, Garmagni. Dude, is that Garmagnus with an I, dude? Bro. So glad you asked. Dude, I was out of town for like a week. Like a week and a half, really. So yeah, I wasn't able to stream. So I've been slacking. But we're coming back hard. You know how we do. But yeah, it feels nice to be home. Making sick beats. Although when I was traveling, I was using M8 and I was making beats on the plane. So that's how we do. Whoops. Alright, sounds kind of wonky, I know. Let me try this out here. Whoa, dude. I'm getting lost in the sauce here. Alright, same as before. Let's do that table thing. Because I'm too lazy to automate the notes there. Or too lazy to punch it in, I mean. Alright, hop 0, 0. And then volume. Little delay on the hi-hats, dude. Sounds kind of dope. Dude, a nice like double hi-hat pattern. I'm into it. That makes that shaker hard to hear though. All right, so yeah, let's get the kicks kind of settled here, or situated, I mean. Alright, so we got a nice amount of kicks here. I gotta use the nth command though to kind of switch it up a little bit. Alright, this one. Maybe that one too. All right, we got the rhythm section feeling pretty nice here. So let's do some melodics. Switch it up. All right, watch the magic happen here. Boom. Oh, dude, I gotta close all this junk out. All right, what's the BPM here? 90. Get rid of all this. Get out of here. Alright, I'm almost done here. This is like kind of a struggle. Boom. Okay. So yeah, Analog Lab. What do you got for me? Oh, I gotta pick a root note and scale as well. So before we were doing harmonic minor, GB, whatever that's all about. What do we got? Dude, Locrian? Y'all get down on that Locrian? Always starts on the Juno keys. What else we got? A little wub. Alright, let me be a little more disciplined here and pick the keys button. You can find something mellow to kind of jam out on this. Quite the vibe, but it does sound sick. These sounds are all just kind of wonky. It's a nice one. So this one sounds tight. Kind of need some delay on it though. Or let me try doing the tape echo and see what that's about. The echo, the one and only. What do we got in the old bag of presets here? Man, can't find like a nice chill one. It's a nice chorus though. Alright, we'll keep that and then we'll do delay as well. Do the space delay. Got kind of a shimmer thing going on. Let's see if we can jam out on it. Yeah, sometimes it just does like a random shimmer. Dude, that's a nice chord. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to play that. Okay. Sampler instrument. I summon thee. Let's jam out. think we got something there. Let's take a look though. Normalize. Normalize these eyes. Wow, it's a long recording. How many phrases was that? Dude, 38? This is a lot. Crop it. And then you have to do slice 38. Random name. Dude, brave fish. I like that. I wouldn't have my fish any other way. Dude, I got some nice voicings. Yeah, some of these sound dope. All right, I did save it. Oh, cancel. Did not save it. So I got to put it in the test folder. Test dumpster, aka where all of my samples go to die. All right, saving it up. Yeah, this should be easy to just pick a couple chill ones. So you got slice, SLI. Here we go. Dude, that one sounds so dope. Dude, Mr. 842, what's up? Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's been 2 weeks actually since I streamed. I was telling Gar Magnus and the crew earlier. I was on vacation. I was out of town, so I could not stream. But I was still making beats. I was using the M8. I used it on the plane and made some pretty sick stuff, which I'll probably play later. But yeah, it's been a while. Nice to be back though, and I appreciate the homies rolling through every time. Dude, that reverse command. Heck yeah, it was pretty chill. Dude, D0 Beats, what's up, bro? What's cracking? Dude, hell yeah. It's got a nice vibe to it. Alright. sounds. What else we got? Dude, I did not see that Henny copped an M8. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself here by saying Henny. Who that is? And is that short for something? Henzilla? Henry? Who's Henny? Business. Oh wow. Dang. That's what's up, dude. I love seeing an M8 get on the board. Because this thing's dope, man. I'm telling you. I feel like more people should use it. Or think about it. Because it's a lot of fun. Oh, he's a producer from Atlanta? Dude, hell yeah. Dude, that's dope. I'm telling you, man. The M8 is very powerful. Like when DiBiase was getting down on it, dude, he was making some crazy stuff. Some people still use it a lot, too. Kind of tight, but I think I could do better. Oh. What is going on with these sounds here? Maybe like a pad. I feel like a nice mellow pad would be sick here. Oh yeah, Taki as well. Yeah, I totally forgot about it. But yeah, people are picking it up. Time finding a chill sound. This one's called J-Boy. It's a nice layer. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what we got here. think that last take was pretty good, maybe. Let's check it out. Let's see the damage here. 9 phrases, nice and short. Gonna normalize it, get it nice and loud. And then, oh dude, this waveform's nuts. All right, 9, random name. Dude, ashamed ham, yikes. No ham should be ashamed, in my opinion. Let it be known. All right, so, dude, D0 beats, that's sick. Dude, I love hearing that. Yeah, the M8, it's, there's definitely a lot to learn with it. So yeah, I'm glad people are checking out the videos, and there's other sick videos too, tutorials and whatnot. Dude, I've been meaning to do a video where it's like start to finish, like a full workflow on the M8, because I feel like my videos are always like specific topics and stuff. Probably get around to it at some point, but I think that'd be sick to add to the playlist. All right, what do we got here? Let me do my, dude, I gotta turn it down. All right, is this the right slice? Yep. Just a nice little pad layer there. Get down on that. Could probably use some bass. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, always so hard to find a chill bass on the Analog Lab. It's all like pretty hardcore stuff. I'm gonna try playing an organ, like super duper pitch down. Maybe that'll sound like a sine wave type bass. Let's see. Something like that. Try putting some distortion on it, maybe. Dude, checking up on the chat here. Mr. 842 says, any new equipment on the horizon? Just just mastering what you have. Oh. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Dude, nothing really planned on the horizon, but I have been thinking about getting the Ableton Move. Dude, there's some like sick like hack stuff going on with it where people are like taking the firmware and like doing really cool stuff with it. Particularly with the M8, you can do like this kind of like MIDI controller integration thing with the Ableton Move if you're using that hacked firmware. Yeah, because apparently it's just got like a Raspberry Pi in it or something, and people are just going kind of crazy doing interesting like effects and like stuff on it. So I feel like if I see one of those at a good price, I'll probably cop. Because yeah, the Ableton Move looks tight. It's like a cool little controller. I mean, I don't even have like Ableton, the software, but I'm pretty sure you can just use it as like a MIDI controller or sampler / Groovebox or whatever. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that, seeing if that'll like kind of get into my price range, but nothing really other than that. I know there's been like a million MPCs that have come out and stuff. Yeah, I'm not too interested in the newer MPCs, but maybe if I find another like older MPC for sale around my area, I might pick it up or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been keeping an eye on. Probably Ableton Move will be the next purchase. And then who knows, maybe Sonicware will come out with some cool stuff that I can play around with too. Who knows though? Oh, dude, you got an Ableton Move? No way, bro. Dude, that's sick. Dude, and D0 Beats has one too. Man, I need to cop, bro. Dude, have you done the hack yet? The Ableton Move, I don't even know what they call it. I hear people in the Discord talk about it, the Dirtywave Discord. Dude, I bet even not hacked, you can do some cool stuff with it. It's just like a chill kind of sampler or synthesizer type deal. No hack yet? Dude, all good, bro. That's sick that it's nice just on its own, though. You don't even got to do any janky stuff. Dude, I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm going to add it to my wish list. See if I can get it for a reasonable price. Something like that. last take was what I was looking for. 21. And yeah, I'm gonna crop the beginning because there's a bunch of funk stuff there. I always forget where I'm supposed to start it here when I do an odd number. I think that'll work. Normalize it. And that was 9. Dude, robotic koala. It's like a sign that I should use koala sampler more, maybe. Sounds dope, though. Dude, Mr. 842 says, my next move may be a Tascam Model 12. Trying to stay away from the computer screen. Dude, heck yeah. That's that, like, multi-track mixer thingy. I think what's his name has one. Marlo Diggs, perhaps. Maybe I'm thinking of a different thing. But yeah, that sounds dope. Dude, Gat Earthrid, you're right on time, bro. Don't even sweat it, dude. I was about to just add this baseline here. And I was waiting for you, dude. I was waiting for you to add this baseline. So now that you're here, let's get it in the mix, dude. We can pop it off here. SLI. Whoa, bro. Says, what mixer settings are you using for live monitoring from the DAW? Sometimes I get distortion. Dude, sometimes I get distortion too. And basically what I found is that you kind of gotta, you kind of gotta keep this thing quiet. Like whatever you're monitoring DAW from, it has to be like pretty low. But the okay thing about that is that if you're getting digital audio from your computer, it's not going to have like line noise or any of that other kind of weird stuff that might get picked up. So you can be pretty low on the volume, and then you can kind of like normalize on M8 or bring up the gain a little bit there. And you might not have as many issues that you might expect if you were to like, yeah, be kind of like cranking the gain on something that's like plugged into a mixer that has other stuff in it. So I find, yeah, the audio from the DAW, you kind of just got to turn it down so you don't get the distortion, and then you can bring it up later, which is maybe called gain staging. I'm not sure. But yeah, I kind of just keep things quiet, and then I have to, I mean, you see me, usually when I record a take, I have to like normalize it because it's usually like pretty tiny waveform, if that is the correct term. Alright, so we got one track left. What should I do here? Maybe I'll open up Pigments. It's like another Arturia thing. It's like their synthesizer engine or whatever. VST. Might be some cool stuff in here. switch to the keys here. Dude, I love sounds like this. Nice ethereal bell sound. Dude, I'm literally just gonna press random buttons and record it. See what we got here. And then, yeah, like we were talking about, just gotta normalize it. And then crop-tastic. What do we got here? 29? It's not bad. It's not the longest one from tonight, but it's pretty long. I think I did one that was 34 earlier. It's a big boy. All right, so I said 29, correct? Yep. All right, so slice 29. Random name. Dude, bad mirror. That seems ominous. A bad mirror? Definitely don't want a bad mirror. All right, just make sure this looks right. Something seems amiss here. I don't know, the timing seems kind of off. Let's try it one more time. Double check the length here. 29 phrases. I slice 29. That's all you can do. All right. So now let's mess around with the slices. Not all the takes are good, but some of them are. So I've got all the layers in. Let's do some arranging here. Where's my mouse? There it is. Okay. So I'm going to make sure everything has 4 phrases. Nice. Copy and paste. Set up my kill phrase here. Alright, what does this sound like? It's just the bass. So this is the original layer and just the bass. It's that like bell sound. Sounds nice with the reverb. Get that shimmer on there though. Maybe a little too much. So yeah, now I've got the basic arrangement down. We start with just the first layer in the bass, then the bell comes in. Comes in. Oh wait, there's more. Dude, we got OTT? We got OTT and you know me. Just like fiddling with it, just moving random values around. It's like I really have no idea what any of this does. Sounds dope though. announce this. Let me save it before something bad happens. Dude, that beat turned out sick. And you know what we're going to do? So I usually make 2 beats on the stream. I'm going to play both beats. And I want to know what you think sounds more sick. And I'm going to give you my opinion too. Because this one sounds pretty dope. We've been listening to it for a long time though. So let's hear the first one. If you missed out earlier, this is what I made before that beat. So yeah, kind of spooky outer space vibes. It's kind of the deal there. And yeah, the OTT sounded nice with that whatever hi-hat shaker, whatever it was. All right, so that was the first one, and this is the second one. So yeah, what do y'all think? You think the first beat sounds tighter or the second? Dude, I'm kind of partial to the second beat. This one, I think, turned out pretty dope. I like the bass line on the first one more. But I feel like things kind of came together here in an interesting way. The double hi-hat pattern's pretty sick on this one too. I feel like it's a little more unique. But the first one's got that spooky outer space vibe. So if you're into that, I don't know, maybe you pick that one. But yeah. Alright, so that was the 2 beats. Pretty chill stuff. You know, let me play some other stuff too. Yeah, we can lose changes. No problem. Dude. Appreciate that Gatter thread. You know what's up, dude. Alright, I'm going to play 2 more beats and then we're going to close it here. Where are we at? Bundles, dude. Getting lost in the bundle here. Okay, I think this one's pretty sick. Let's listen. Yeah, the second beat was dope. I'm right there with you, Carmagni. That was just a little simple one. What's this one? That was a couple beats for y'all just to close it out there. I think I'm gonna call it at this point. But yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in and joining me again. I know I was out of town for a little bit, so I wasn't doing any streams, but we're back in it, heavy. And I'm coming to you live on Saturday for my next stream. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And yeah, let's give some shout outs, dude. Everyone that tuned in. Dude, from the top. Gigi, Victor, Royal Apple, dude, Filzer, Robbie Ferrero, dude, Royal Apple blowing up the chat. That's what's up, dude. Vitaly Sobolowski, dude, Gar Magna showed up just in time, dude. Right on time. Straight 42, D0 Beats, dude, Gat Earthrid, and yeah, Vitaly Sobolowski, and all the rest of y'all, dude. Hope you all have a chill rest of your night. Hope to catch you on the next one. But until then, peace. Where is this button? Oh, here we go. All right, so yeah, actually, peace though. Peace.